I didn't always start off as a runner. In fact, I didn't run for the first 33 years of my life. I didn't think I could, but I can now. I'm Leslie Liu. I'm an aspiring Boston marathoner. Many years ago, I had a marathon dream seeded within me. I didn't realize it was there, but when I went to undergrad in Boston and I had my first taste of the Boston Marathon, I saw amazing people chase their dreams. It took me a long time, but many years later, I wanted to pursue wellness and I wanted to pursue running because running to me was a physical empowerment of being able to chase my dreams. I had my breaking point. It was my friend's wedding day. I'm in the wedding party. And as part of the wedding party groomsmen tradition, we were getting ready by jumping into Lake Washington before we got ready for the wedding day. I jumped into the lake and I struggled to stay afloat. I couldn't swim, I couldn't move my arm. I sank to the bottom of the lake and I walked back to shore. And I went to the emergency room later that day. They told me I dislocated my shoulder. And with a team of people, I was able to get out and be there for my friend's wedding day. And later that night, as I overheard a wedding guest say, one of the groomsmen, the larger guy, was in the hospital. And that was the moment when I realized she's talking about me. I had been in denial that I was obese for the majority of my life. And it was something that has always held me back. And it was something that I realized I no longer want to be associated with, and I no longer want to be obese. So I made a choice, and I made a choice not to be obese. It was working with a physical therapist. That's when I realized that healing through movement is possible. Then I surrounded myself with some amazing people at work. I changed my diet. I started losing weight, where I felt I could start to run. I ran, from 1 mile, I went to 3 miles, and then I went to running a 5 mile for the first time. I knew I had a marathon dream, and I didn't quite know how to achieve that marathon dream. I looked for a coach that was accomplished. I looked for a coach that cared. I looked for a coach who was willing to hear my story and was willing to help me achieve my marathon dream. And that's how I was connected with Wy'east. When I had to explain to Wy'east, I know how to get from point A to point B, but I really don't know how to run. He came out, he ran with me, and most importantly, he believed in my dream, and he was willing to help me.
All the way to the top, all the way to me. All the way. Nice.
That took me from a novice runner to a marathoner in 10 months, where I felt so prepared at the start line. About 100 days out from the race, I had a fear that no one would be there for me at the finish line. The day before the New York Marathon, some amazing people from my team showed up at my hotel to surprise me. They showed up for me. That reminded me they have always been there for me. While I was not expecting them to be there, I knew they were there for me, and they were. When I got up to the starting line, I realized that was my finish line. I had no doubt I was going to finish and cross the finish line that day. That starting line capstoned a year's worth of work to shed my lifelong identity as a fat kid, to transform myself and center around wellness and community, and build myself up with some amazing people along the way in order to get me to be at the starting line of the New York City Marathon. When I crossed the New York City Marathon finish line, it took me a while, but I realized I achieved my dream. Up until then, I wasn't really sure what it means to achieve a dream, but I've tasted this sweet feeling of accomplishing something that I worked so hard for, something that I woke up every day to make it happen. And I realized it was a sense of fulfillment. It was a sense that life was sweet. It was a sense that my life is worth living. It's a sense that my life is precious. And it's this feeling of fulfillment and this reaching a dream that to me is all too sweet to contain to myself. Since then, I have this perspective of sharing this feeling of achieving your dreams. Doesn't mean it's a marathon dream, nor a running dream. I just want people to have a dream, and I want them to do something about it until they get it.